Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the study. Thank you for joining me on this fine day. If you are new to the channel, thank you for finding us. If you give us a sub and a thumbs up and all that fun stuff, it would be much appreciated. What are we here to talk about today? It's Jackie Chan. You know I love to talk about Jackie Chan. What are we doing talking about Jackie Chan today? This is a video I've thought about making for a very long time, and I hesitated on it for a lot of reasons. It's where do I start with Jackie Chan? If you're new to Hong Kong cinema, if you're new to Jackie Chan, if you've heard the name, if you've maybe seen Rush Hour, like you're kind of familiar with who he is, but you don't know that much about him, and maybe you're intimidated by the fact that there's, like you look on his IMDb and there's like 100 movies on there. You're like, what are the classics? Where do I start? So I figured, okay, I'm like hesitant to give people advice, but I also thought this might just be a fun video because I love Jackie Chan. So I'm going to say two things before I start this video. Number one is this is not the definitive video, and this is what you have to do with Jackie Chan. Everyone should do what they want to do. Don't listen to me. I'm just some idiot spouting nonsense on the internet. And number two, I very strongly believe that people should follow their own taste, because if you don't follow your own taste, you're going to end up, I believe, you'll probably end up disliking something that in a different part of your life, in a different part of your journey through cinema, you might really love. And you shouldn't be turned off to stuff, right? So let me give you an example of what I mean by that, right? Like, to me, the classic example of following your taste and seeing what's right for you at the right time in your life is Rashomon. As you know, I studied Japanese in college, and like the first Japanese film studies class I took, one of the first movies we watched is Rashomon. So here I am, I'm 18 years old. I grew up watching American movies and like Schwarzenegger, Batman and shit like that. And now I'm watching Rashomon and I'm like, what the fuck's going on right now, right? And there's like amazing stuff in that movie. It's like the scenes in the rain underneath the gate are so beautiful and whatever. But I really, at 18 years old, did not have the life experience or the experience watching movies to understand what Kurosawa was doing philosophically and aesthetically. I just wasn't there, right? And I think a lot of people probably aren't. And you watch this movie and you're like, what the fuck is this movie? And how many people saw that movie, had no idea what the hell was going on, and were like, I don't know if I want to watch any more old Japanese movies, right? A good friend of mine watched Throne of Blood, and at the wrong time in life, when she knew nothing about Japanese cinema, someone just threw it on, and she was like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen, because it's so dark, and it's so harsh, and it's got that piercing music, and it's not just like a sit down and watch a piece of entertainment film. It's like this crushing tragedy, right? That has like this really kind of abrasive aesthetic to it, deliberately so. But if you watch the wrong movies at the wrong time in your life, I think it can be detrimental to your love of cinema in a way. And so I think that you really should follow your own taste. So there are like classic Jackie Chan films, right? Like Police Story, Project A. What are the other classics? Like Dragon Lord, The Young Master, Drunken Master 2, Snake and Eagle Shadow. Like all those films, Operation Condor, Armor of God. Like there's so many classic movies that Jackie Chan has been in. But the point of this video is to say what I think would appeal to you based on what your taste is, okay? So let me be more specific about that, because I wrote down some genres as examples here. So let's say you're a big comedy fan, and especially like, say you like American comedy and like super goofy comedy and that kind of stuff, right? I think that you would really dig the 80s comedies as like a kind of to ease you into Jackie's style, and then move into like the action comedies and stuff like that. So you have films like Winners and Sinners, which is really not it's a Sammo Hung film, but Jackie Chan has some great moments in it. He has great kind of stunt / action scene in it, and it's just a very, very funny movie. Wheels on Meals, I think, is a lot of people knock Wheels on Meals because they're like, it has the most amazing fight scene ever, but there's only one major fight scene in it. But Wheels on Meals to me is a great comedy. So if you love comedy, that would be a good movie to watch, because there's a great car chase, and there is what a lot of people would say is maybe the best fight scene ever put on film in that movie. So you see the fight scene, you get an idea for that style, you see this awesome freaking car chase, but really you're getting what I think is a very funny character-driven comedy that's kind of very silly and reminds me of like screwball comedy, classic Hollywood and stuff like that. And Project A and Police Story are both very funny movies, but very action-heavy films. Like, again, so start leading you into his more action-heavy and martial arts stuff, and then you could try Drunken Master, which is a very funny movie, but has awesome fight scenes like throughout the whole movie. So it's more heavy on the fighting. So again, if you're a comedy fan and you just go and watch Drunken Master because you hear it's a really funny comedy, I would imagine if you're not already a fan of martial arts films and you sit down and you end up getting a movie with like just like constant fight scenes that go on for like 5, 6, 7 minutes, you'd be like, what is going on? Like, where's the comedy? This is just people beating the shit out of each other. Snake and Eagle Shadow is another one, Fearless Hyena, and then obviously Rush Hour. And people can knock Rush Hour if they want, but I think Rush Hour is a really good movie, and I think it's a really good gateway drug for people because it's in English, it's an American film, it follows the conventions of a standard mainstream American filmmaking. It's very well done within those conventions, and it's very funny, and it's got really good action in it. So now let's say you like brutal gun violence movies, like the John Woo type of movies, and even bloodier stuff than that, where people are just going around shooting each other all the time. Believe it or not, Jackie Chan has been in some movies like that. And so maybe you're the kind of person who's like, well, Jackie's like too corny, he's too like lighthearted, I like people's heads exploding and stuff like that. You should watch Crime Story, the Kirk Wong movie starring Jackie Chan. And you should also check out The Protector. Now, obviously, if you're like a big fan of these films already, you already know all this stuff. It's just fun to talk about. The Protector is like this really trashy grindhouse, kind of like American/Hong Kong co-production, if I'm not mistaken. That it was an American director. It was filmed in Hong Kong, and I think it was funded mostly by Hong Kong. I don't remember the whole history of it, but it's a really fun movie. And it's like, if you like canon films and just like trashy ass grindhouse movie, and you get to hear like Jackie Chan spouting dialogue that like Clint Eastwood would say, and you're like, what? This is so weird. Like, I never in my life thought I would hear Jackie Chan like spout some hard ass dialogue and then shoot someone in the head. Like, it's fucking bananas. And so if you like those types of movies, I think you would dig that movie. And like Dragons Forever is a little bit darker, and it's a pretty violent movie. It's about the drug trade. Jackie plays his lawyer, who's kind of an asshole, and it's like a little bit harder edged. Police Story 3 is a movie with a lot of gunfighting in it. Obviously, it's not brutal, but it has a lot of shooting in it and really well orchestrated shootouts and stunt sequences and stuff like that. And then the original Police Story, honestly, I think like we remember the comedy and the stunts from the original Police Story, but I think sometimes what gets lost in the narrative of that film is it's actually really violent. It's like a very bloody movie. People are getting like thrown through glass and beaten in the face, and like it's got, like, if you watch it with the right state of mind and the right frame of mind, I guess I should say, it's got some pretty brutal stuff in it. So let's say you're a fan of martial arts movies, you like the old school shape style movies, you like Basher movies. Shaw Brothers. Now, if you do like those, I think it's highly unlikely that you need me to tell you where to start with Jackie Chan, because you're probably already a fan of Jackie Chan, or you've maybe already decided you don't like him. But he has been in a fair number of movies of those types. So Shaolin Wooden Men, which is one of my favorite, and I believe one of the most underrated Jackie Chan films, which I have right here, which I can show to you. This is like a really, really good, straight up, old school, like beat down, kick ass martial arts movie. And anyone who is a fan of those types of movies who doesn't like Jackie Chan, or you're not sure if you like Jackie Chan, before you just unequivocally dismiss Jackie Chan, see this movie. And then I would say see stuff like Fearless Hyena and Dragon Lord and The Young Master. And like, he was in good movies of that nature. And then, you know, you can try Drunken Master 2 again, now that you're acclimated to Jackie's style a little bit more, and see if the comedy sits better with you, or Snake and Eagle Shadow. And I'm sure that some people watch that for Yuen Woo Ping, but I mean, and then Project A, I think, is a great segue from those types of movies, because it has a lot of fighting and brawls and like amazing choreography in it, into the more modern action films, because it takes that type of film out of the distant past and puts it in a more relatable setting, even though it is still a period piece. And then that is a segue into films like Police Story and stuff like that. So let's say you like The Raid and like those types of movies that combine shooting and martial arts, right? Which really Jackie Chan basically started that whole kind of, I mean, not him alone, but like his generation really kind of, those movies wouldn't exist were it not for them. But I mean, the Police Story movies and Dragons Forever, Police Story 2, Police Story 3, The Foreigner, if you like more modern gritty action, like if you have trouble with the fact that these are 80s movies or whatever, the movie with Pierce Brosnan in it is like a very good, gritty, like violent modern action film. And then Crime Story again, the Kirk Wong film, I think is another good one. So they're kind of just examples of like, if you like this type of genre, if you like that type of genre, I really do think it's important to play to people's tastes. Because if you watch a movie, like I said, at the wrong time in your life or for the wrong reasons and you don't like it, you might be cutting yourself off from something that you might really enjoy just because it's not the right time or the right film, right? Because Jackie's in so many movies, and let's say you watch one or you watch two and you're like, I don't like those, but it's because you're kind of coming at it from the wrong direction. Like, I really don't believe in the absolute notion of like, you have to see this movie. Like, you're not a fan of cinema, or like you're failing at life or whatever if you haven't seen this movie and that movie. Like, I really think that you should find your own path that appeals to you, so that you can find a reason to directly, emotionally, whatever, however you connect with movies as entertainment, as art, whatever, you know you better than anyone, right? Except for maybe your parents. So you should just follow your intuition. What works for you, what doesn't. Look at artwork, look at trailers, maybe like rent movies on streaming or see them on streaming, watch movies with your friends, and kind of like start to look at what are the hallmarks of these types of films? Are they funny? Are they violent? Is there gunfighting? Is there this? Is that, like, kind of break it down and say, like, I like it because of this, I like it because of this, and then start to find more stuff like that. And I think it's a really good way to kind of explore the entire world of cinema, because I've gotten so much joy out of movies from all over the world, but it really has to be like, you really have to see something when you're ready to see it and when you need to see it, or it's not going to hit you the right way. So my name is Will. This is Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.